So the main rivalry of the 2010s is LeBron James versus Stephen Curry. It's the main NBA rivalry that there has been for a long time now. So it's only right. It's really, really important that we go through it and see what they did. So all the greatness starts in the 2009-10 season with game number 1, which was on the 17th of November, Cleveland versus Golden State. So Cleveland is 7 years into the LeBron James experiment, and they're over 500 at almost 600, so they're having a pretty good time with him. In fact, in 2007, as we all know, they lost in the finals, and they haven't been back since, but they've been close both times they've tried. And Cleveland's had a winning record for a while now. They've been one of the best teams basically the last 2 years. LeBron's been basically averaging 27 points per game since his second season. He's really, really good. After averaging 27 as a 22-year-old, he averaged 30 in 2008, and just last year, 2009, he finally won Most Valuable Player, while also coming second in Defensive Player of the Year. Golden State, on the other hand, has been having a great time. Since the We Believe Warriors in 2007, they've had a losing record their last 4 seasons now. So obviously that means they've missed the playoffs twice in a row now, and that's why they were able to land Steph Curry. Golden State is in a rough patch in their history. At the moment, their best player is Steven Jackson, who's just come off averaging 20 points per game for now 2 seasons since the We Believe Warriors. But he's 30 years old. It's not sustainable to keep him. Now, if we compare the two players, one of these guys is the reigning MVP, and the other guy is a rookie playing in his 9th game of his career ever. So it's not really fair to compare them at the moment. LeBron James is 7th in points and 6th in assists in the NBA. But he also has a box plus minus of 11.2. That's near the best ever. If anything is above 10 in box plus minus, it means you're having an all-time season. Meanwhile, at the same time, he's leading his team in shot attempts, so he's the first option, and he's also the most efficient player on his team, so he's a good first option. Not just that, he also, of all the players qualified in minutes per game, he's leading them in points, rebounds, assists, and efficiency. Meanwhile, Steph, who's just a rookie, is averaging 8, 2, and 4. And after about 9 games, he's playing like a bench or end-of-bench player. But to be fair, he is the 5th option on his team, while also being the 3rd most efficient. And he just about leads them in his assists, near the top of the Warriors' assists ladder. Now, if we compare Golden State and Cleveland, obviously Cleveland's had 7 years of LeBron now, so they're near the East top. They are number 5 at the moment. Meanwhile, Golden State is near the bottom of the West after a long time of tanking. This season, Cleveland's got the numbers to show they're a contender, while Golden State is obviously not that. See, they're complete opposite ends of our chart here, showing how opposite these teams are. One is really good, one is really bad. So yeah, starting with game number 1. In game 1, we have Golden State coming to visit Cleveland. Before the game starts, this is known as LeBron's first attempt at playing against his good friend Steph Curry. The last couple of years, LeBron has been going to visit Steph while he's going off in college, and now everyone basically knows Steph as LeBron James, the current MVP's good friend. So this is LeBron coming to face his friend for the first time. Now in this game, Cleveland had a commanding lead most of the game, but Golden State started to come back. In fact, Golden State went on a 10-2 run at the start of the 4th quarter, And that means now they've gone from down 13 to down 5 with just 8 minutes remaining. Over the next 5 minutes, Golden State, especially Anthony Morrow and Steph Curry, hit some threes to make it just a 1-point game with 3 minutes remaining. It was at that moment that LeBron and the Cavs go on a 7-2 run to take the game and finish it. Now, LeBron had 31, 5, and 12 in this game, and Steph had 14, 5, and 7. But this is their first time playing, and this is literally LeBron MVP versus Steph in his 10th ever NBA game. So 14, 5, and 7 is very good. And yeah, this game here was clutch, so it gets a star for that. It was entertaining, so it gets a star for that. It had great moments, gets a star for that. It had a crazy performance from LeBron, so it gets a star for that. And also, it gets a star because this is the first game that they played against each other. So the record stands at 1, LeBron, Steph, 0. And in 2009, they didn't just have one game, they had two. Technically in 2010, but this is the 2009-10 season. So on January 11th, game number 2. Before this game, LeBron and Steph have improved a bit, going from 29 points per game to 29 points per game for LeBron, and going from 8 points per game to 12 points per game for Steph Curry. And the teams did a little bit of changing too. Cleveland went to the top of the Eastern Conference, while Golden State is near the bottom of the Western Conference now. And yep, Cleveland's still playing like a contender, now second overall in the league to the Lakers, and Golden State is playing like Golden State, near the bottom of the league, 25th overall. One thing that haven't really slipped though is that offense. They're still pretty good at scoring. We have game number 2. In this game here, the Cavs added Shaquille O'Neal to the starting lineup. Warriors basically the same. But that means game number 2 is well known for being the only ever game where Steph and Curry faced off against Shaquille O'Neal. This is them in that picture there. Now this game here was kind of close, but basically Cleveland was leading the whole game. Golden State was trying to pull back. Again, Golden State went on a run, 16-7 run, led by Corey Maggette with 7 points, Steph Curry with 5 points, and Monte Ellis with 5 points as well. That means in the fourth quarter, it's getting close, but with 1 second left, Steph Curry had a chance to tie the game, send it into overtime, and he missed. So game ends with LeBron James 37, 8, and 11. And Steph Curry, 21, 7, and 5. Now, if we go to that fourth quarter, Monte Ellis, Corey Maggette, and Steph Curry all went off. Basically, all of them dropped 5+ points in the fourth quarter, while LeBron was basically by himself in the fourth quarter. It was LeBron versus the Warriors in 2010. And yeah, this game here, it did go clutch, but it wasn't as interesting as the first game. 2-0 to LeBron. Now in 2011, they did face off on the 1st of January, game number 3. Game number 3, Golden State at Miami this time. LeBron James had moved to Miami, so his teammates are now Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Carlos Arroyo, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, whole bunch of different guys, but it's the same thing, it's just a basketball game. Now the Warriors have added Dorell Wright and David Lee. This game is not as interesting in the rivalry perspective, but it is interesting as a Big 3 Miami Heat game, because they went off in this game. In fact, Golden State took a 20-point lead early on, but then Miami locked in and they got rid of that and won the game. LeBron had 25, 7, and 10, but D-Wade had 25 and Chris Bosh had 20 and 11. It was insane. Dorell Wright had 30 points and David Lee also showed up with 13 points and 12 rebounds. This was a masterclass game from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Because Steph had 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists in this game, and he went 1 from 2 from the 3-point line. This game is the least interesting one so far, 3-0 to LeBron. Now in the lockout shortened 2012 season, they didn't have a chance to play each other. So the next time they played each other, 2012-13. Now, near the beginning of the season, on the 12th of December, 2012. That is 12-12-12. We have Golden State. We have Golden State versus Miami. Golden State at Miami again for game number 4. This time around, the Warriors also feature Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Festus Ezeli, and Draymond Green. In fact, this game is known for being Draymond's first ever game winner. He hit the game winner to end this game. Now, it wasn't a buzzer beater, but he hit the winning shot in this game. This game was really close all throughout. It's not anything really memorable. They're just going back and forth. Now, Klay also had 27 and 7 in his first ever game in this rivalry. But yeah, it was really, really a crazy game. Steph only had 9 points in the game, but the record for now is 3-1. That number is going to be really interesting later on, by the way. Moving to 2014. In 2014, we had game number 5 on the 2nd of January. Game number 5, Golden State at Miami. Golden State had added Andre Iguodala and Andrew Bogut to the team. Meanwhile, the Heat still have D-Wade, still have Chris Bosh, but they've added Mario Chalmers and Shane Battier to the starting lineup. And this was a serious Steph game. There was no jokes in this game, nothing interesting. Just a game where Golden State took the lead. Miami was not able to come back. Golden State just kept that handle. Steph had 36 points with 8 threes and 12 assists. And David Lee helped as well with 32 points and 14 rebounds. LeBron had 26, 5, and 5. But yeah, this was a serious Warriors game. And they just dominated LeBron. Another one where, because it was a blowout, it wasn't that interesting. But the rivalry record now is 3-2 to LeBron. Now in 2014, there was one other game that they played. Game number 6. This one here was on the 12th of February, so about a month after the first game. At this time, Miami is 4 seasons into the LeBron James thing. They have 2 championships to show for that. And they have a really good record, only taking 77 losses in the entire time to this point. And obviously, they are the reigning and defending NBA champions. They lost in 2011, then they won in 2012, and they won again in 2013. So we're not just facing any team, we're facing the champions and the finals MVP. Miami's been really good basically this whole time. This year, not as good as last year, but they can get back there. And yeah, we're talking about a finals MVP LeBron James. That's a guy who averaged 27, 8, and 6 in 2012, then was even better in 2013, averaging 27, 8, and 7. This season is about third in points and sixth in efficiency, but he's still there. Golden State is now 5 seasons into the Steph Curry thing. At the moment, it's not really showing results. But just last season, they made the conference semis, so they're really going from a bad team to like a middle-of-the-road team now. In fact, their record last year, when they finally stopped being a really bad team, is finally starting to rebound, where once again, they're pretty good this year. And yeah, Steph Curry's basically cracked. In 2013, he started scoring 20 points per game, and he's not letting that go. This season, he's up to 24.6 points per game. That's 5th in the NBA. He's also 2nd in the league in assists so far, at 9 assists per game. And that makes it easier to finally compare these two. This guy here, where one of them used to be reigning MVP and the other guy was a rookie in his 10th game, we now have the guy who should be reigning MVP versus Steph Curry, 5th in points, 2nd in assists, so they're pretty even at this point. But LeBron James, LeBron's box plus minus is about 8.2, which puts him in MVP season or thereabouts. While he's also the first option on his team, and yeah, he's the most efficient by far. He also leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, and true shooting of everyone who's playing today. Notice D-Wade isn't there, and that's because he was injured during this game, so his stats don't show up on this game. Steph on his end here, he was box plus minus of 7.2. So he was also having about an all-NBA season, not MVP level like LeBron though. And yes, Steph was the most efficient and also the first option on his team, with guys like Klay Thompson and David Lee right there behind him to back him up. And yeah, Steph led the team in points, assists, and in efficiency. Now, team comparison, Miami was one of the top teams in the entire NBA. They were 2nd in the East. Meanwhile, Golden State was near the middle of the pack. Miami, again, they're a contender. They're doing everything well. Their defense is a little shaky, though. Meanwhile, Golden State has a great defense. In fact, they're 5th overall in net rating versus 6th overall in net rating. And slowly over time, Steph and the Warriors have caught up to LeBron and his team. So they're about to be near the same level at this point. And they're actually good enough that you can see Golden State and Miami on this table here, on this graph. Coming into game number 6, we have the Warriors with Andre Iguodala, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, David Lee, and Draymond is finally in the starting lineup versus the Heat, who don't have D-Wade, so they've got Mario Chalmers, Chris Bosh, Shane Battier, and Tony Douglas starting. And this is in Golden State. And this is another serious game. This is going for 6 stars here. Basically, Miami took a huge lead early on, but Golden State came all the way back, took the lead, and now it's getting close again. In fact, starting at 6 minutes in the 4th quarter, Golden State went on an 11-3 run to go from down 9 to just down 1. And of course, Steph and Klay and David Lee had everything to do with that run. Golden State, after David Lee hit that free throw, was just a 1 point away from tying the game with 2 minutes remaining. It was at that point that Steph hit a jump shot a little bit later with 48 seconds remaining to make it a tie game. Then again, Steph hit a 2-point jump shot to make it a 1-point game with just 15 seconds remaining. It was at that moment that LeBron decided to hit a 3, a game winner, at the buzzer to end things. LeBron and Steph actually had a huge battle in this game, and LeBron ended up on top. So yeah, Steph Curry 29, 5, and 7 in this game with 4 threes. LeBron 36, 13, and 9 with 4 threes as well. They really went off on each other in this game, and it was really entertaining. In fact, this is the most entertaining game at 6 stars in this first part of the rivalry. And that LeBron James game winner is still talked about to this day because he hit the silencer for the first time ever. This is one of the greatest LeBron games ever. Steph had a pretty good game too. So yeah, from every game we know so far, that game number 6, Miami at Golden State, that's the best game we've had. Followed by that first game where it got close, and then the second game where it also got close. Each game has been a clutch game, and there was a lot of games that happened, but this is only the beginning. As we all know, they had a huge rivalry, and there's so much more into the future. That means there's a part 2 coming out. That comes out just next week on this same channel.